On field has been great, you know. It's a very good race right now. It's a tight race. The games that I've been to, particularly this game tonight, was just an outstanding games in terms of the talent. Even when the national team players has been gone, because that was a little bit of a concern when we brought in amateur players, but they were still great games. You know, the depth of, I think, the players that we have to be able to bring up on these teams is great, and that makes for wonderful games and good contested environments. So I think we're very, very pleased with the on-field for sure. Now the finances, of course, everybody wants to know that. But you know, what's been interesting to travel to all the different facilities is the environment. Some people want to count numbers, and that is important, obviously. You need to take a look at the numbers. But not everybody has that in context. If Boston has 2,500 people, but they only seat 26, that's a sellout, and that's pretty good, and the environment's unbelievable. It was a great environment here tonight, and you're going to have your bigger games, you're going to have your not-so-big games. When I was here the last time, there was that thunderstorm, and there were 600 people here, and so there's always going to be different circumstances that are going to affect that. But your fans are continuing to come back, and I think every city is getting a good base that they're drawing upon and really expanding, and that's great for the league. A lot of it's the product. Who wasn't entertained with this game? Who, you know, what mom or dad brought their son or daughter here, their kids here to watch this, and doesn't understand this is a great environment? You know, it's not, in a lot of professional sports, financially you can't afford to bring everybody and have a great night. So I think if you can put a good product out there and give it a good environment, it should stabilize the base and continue to grow. I think one of the things that's important this year is not a lot of people know about the National Women's Soccer League. It's new. It was immersed within everything else going on in sports, and so our goal is to just expand that base, broaden the base for everybody to know the Sky Blue is here, and it had gone away for a period of time, but it's back. And so this year is to get the base and then expand upon it. So the product, I think, is one of the biggest things that's going to sell. Whether it's Alex Morgan or any of the other teams that are going to come in here, you're going to have a great game. Yeah, I think midweeks are always going to be tough in any market, particularly when it's during school and it's a midweek. Those we knew were going to be challenges. And, you know, part of that was trying to minimize when the national team players were gone, or part of it was facilities. Not everybody could get it maybe on a weekend, so we had to move to weekdays. And again, you just have to continue to plug away at what you're doing in your particular market. Every market's different. So as a league, to be able to go in and say you should do this, this, and this, that's not necessarily the best thing that's going to happen there. I think youth teams, some markets are fabulous with their youth programs, and you see all these screaming kids, which is annoying sometimes, but it's great because that's where you're going to galvanize your base too. Because you go to the youth leagues, this is the future for them, and their parents come along, grandparents come along, and we have to capitalize on that. The other thing is some markets do better with their demographics. There's a lot of people in certain cities that soccer is their first love in terms of the sport that they grew up with, whether they've emigrated here or they've been here, and so you have to also capitalize on those as well. One of the things that was important when we were determining where those games were going to be hosted is they are in stadiums that don't have football lines. Okay? So the first thing you want to do for those fans that are looking is to understand this is soccer, and to put our best foot forward in terms of where we're playing, what the look is it is, the feel of it. You take a look at 2 games will be in Portland, would have drawn exceptionally well. You're going to have a game in DC that typically has almost sold out their stadium. It's only a 5,000 seat stadium. Western New York, you take a look at, and Seattle, and Hope and Rapino will be back. And so we believe that we've chosen, while everybody will be on TV, which was also preeminent in making our decision, we've also chosen markets that we believe will showcase us in the best light. We have not set a drop-dead date, but we are in fact, you know, taking a look at those people that might be interested. You know, you've always got to look ahead a little bit. Obviously, that's important to be able to not. What we did this year was a little crazy, starting a league in 4 months. We sure don't want to get in that situation again. And so, if we choose to have anybody come into the league, it will be with more preparation time to be able to get things done. Hey, safe travels. Great game. That's the plan. I mean, I think everybody, when we were coming into this with allocated players, since the national team coaches have great influence on who those are, one had to understand that they may change from year to year. The base will stay the same, and hopefully that base will stay where they're at. But then you're going to have maybe 4 different players coming in for Mexico. So 4 go out, 4 go in, same with Canada. I have no idea what their numbers are or what that's going to be. And so we'll step back and take a look at who are the teams that lost the players that might not be there in terms of being allocated. So there's a few steps we have to go to really sort that out. But everybody knew that the allocation, the people that were part of the allocation, might not be 100% the same the second year.
Okay.